Do you ever feel like there's a secret club you weren't quite prepared to join, the club of getting older? For years, we see it from the outside, maybe through our parents or grandparents. We think we know what it's like. We imagine retirement, maybe slower days, more time for hobbies. And while some of that is true and wonderful, there are also parts that hit differently when you're actually in it. Things that seem obvious in hindsight. But somehow, no one really sits you down and gives you the unvarnished truth. It's not always comfortable to talk about the less glamorous, sometimes downright difficult, aspects of aging. It's easier to focus on the silver linings, the wisdom gained, the freedom from the 9-to-5 grind, but ignoring the challenges doesn't make them disappear. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain a little. We're going to look at 5 harsh truths about getting older that often catch people by surprise. Things that perhaps no one has truly dared to tell you frankly. These aren't meant to scare you, but to prepare and empower you. Because facing these realities head-on is the first step to navigating them with grace, strength, and even finding new joys. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you. Let's dive right into the first one, and it's a big one. Maybe one of the most emotionally challenging. The harsh truth is that your social circle will inevitably shrink, and maintaining connections, or building new ones, becomes not just a nice-to-have, but an active effort, a conscious piece of work you need to undertake. Think about how friendships formed so easily when you were younger. School, university, your first jobs, raising children, neighborhood gatherings. Life threw you together with people constantly, creating a built-in community. There were shared experiences, proximity, common goals. As you get older, especially after retirement, those automatic connection points start to disappear. Your work colleagues are no longer part of your daily routine. The parents from your kids' school soccer team move on as the kids grow up. Friends you've had for decades might move away. Or, sadly, their health declines, or they pass away. This is perhaps the most painful part, losing people you've shared so much life with. It leaves a hole, a silence where laughter or familiar stories used to be. You might find yourself with fewer people to call on a Tuesday afternoon just to chat, fewer spontaneous coffee dates. It's a quiet kind of loneliness that can creep in. Even if you have a loving family, your children have their own busy lives. Your grandchildren are wonderful but live far away or are caught up in their youth. They can't fill all the gaps left by peers who truly understand your frame of reference, your shared history. This shrinking circle isn't anyone's fault. It's a natural, albeit difficult, part of the life cycle. But the harshness comes if you're not prepared for it and don't actively counter it. You can't rely on the same passive approach to friendship that worked in your younger years. You have to be proactive. This means picking up the phone even when you don't feel like it. It means reaching out to that acquaintance you always enjoyed talking to but never made time for. It means saying yes to invitations, even if it requires a bit more energy than it used to. It might even mean putting yourself out there to meet new people, which can feel incredibly daunting after a certain age. Where do you even meet people? Well, it requires rethinking your strategy. Maybe it's joining a local club, a book club, a walking group, a gardening society, a volunteer organization. Maybe it's taking a class at the community college, learning a new language, or trying a new hobby where others are present. It feels different than the organic connections of youth, more intentional, perhaps even a little forced at first. But it's necessary work. The truth is, social connection is as vital for your health and well-being as diet and exercise. Studies consistently show that loneliness in older adults can have serious negative impacts on both mental and physical health. So, while it's harsh that your long-standing network will likely diminish, the truth that follows is that you have the power and the need to build and maintain connections differently. It requires vulnerability, putting yourself out there, and understanding that building new relationships, or deepening existing ones, is a valuable investment of your time and energy in your later years. It won't happen automatically, and that's the harsh part. But the empowering part is knowing you can do something about it, transitioning from our social world to our physical one. The second harsh truth is about your body. And while we all know bodies change as we age, the extent and nature of those changes, and the reality that you can't always defy gravity or time, no matter how healthy you are, can be quite a shock. We live in a culture that often idolizes youth and promotes an image of aging gracefully that sometimes feels unattainable or even dishonest. We see images of vibrant, active older adults, which is wonderful and inspiring. But it can also create an expectation that you'll just keep doing everything you did at 40 or 50 without much difference. The reality is that your body will likely slow down in ways you didn't anticipate. You might find aches and pains becoming more frequent companions. Knees that used to carry you effortlessly upstairs might start to creak or protest. Your back might feel stiff in the morning. Recovery from even minor physical exertion or illness takes longer than it used to. That resilience you took for granted, the ability to bounce back quickly, diminishes. You might notice changes in your strength, your balance, your flexibility, things you could do easily before, like lifting heavy objects or walking long distances, might become more challenging or require more planning. Your eyesight might dim, your hearing might fade, your metabolism shifts. These aren't failures. They are simply the effects of time on the human body. The harshness here isn't just the physical discomfort, it's the psychological adjustment required. It's the letting go of a certain physical identity. It's accepting that you might not be able to run a marathon, or maybe even walk as fast as you used to. It's adjusting your expectations and sometimes having to ask for help, which can be difficult if you've always been fiercely independent. It's dealing with appearance changes, wrinkles, sagging skin, thinning hair, in a society that often makes us feel like these are flaws rather than natural signs of a long life lived. The glossy magazines and social media feeds often present a filtered, smoothed-over version of aging, leaving you unprepared for the reality you see in the mirror or feel in your joints. However, just like with social connections, understanding this truth allows you to respond proactively. It doesn't mean giving up on physical activity. In fact, it means becoming smarter about it. It means finding forms of exercise that are sustainable and beneficial for your changing body. Gentle yoga, swimming, walking, strength training modified for your abilities. It means paying more attention to nutrition, understanding that your body's needs change. It means listening to your body and being okay with rest and recovery. It means prioritizing regular checkups and not ignoring those new aches and pains. It also means cultivating a different kind of body positivity, one that isn't based on youthful appearance or peak physical performance, but on gratitude for what your body can still do, and appreciation for the journey it has carried you on. It's about adapting, finding new ways to move and stay active, and celebrating the resilience you do possess. The harsh truth is, you can't stop time, and you can't entirely prevent your body from changing. But the empowering truth is that you have agency in how you care for your changing body, how you adapt your life to accommodate those changes, and how you nurture a positive relationship with yourself, wrinkles, aches, and all. Accepting this reality isn't defeat, it's wisdom, allowing you to live more fully and comfortably within your aging skin. It requires patience and self-compassion. Recognizing that your body has served you well for many decades and deserves gentle care and understanding now. It means letting go of comparisons to your younger self or to others and focusing on what feels good and right for you in this moment. Moving from the physical to the practical and psychological. The third harsh truth about getting older, especially post-retirement, is that it's not always the endless vacation or leisure time you might have envisioned. Retirement can actually bring unexpected challenges, including boredom, a profound loss of purpose, and financial anxieties you didn't fully anticipate. even if you thought you had planned well. For decades, your work likely provided structure, routine, social interaction, a sense of identity, and a clear purpose. You knew where you needed to be, what you needed to do, and you were contributing to something, whether it was a company, a community, or your family's financial security. Even if you didn't love your job every single day, it filled a significant chunk of your time and energy and gave shape to your week. When that suddenly stops, the initial freedom can feel exhilarating. No more alarms, no more deadlines, no more commuting. But after the novelty wears off, the vast expanse of unstructured time can feel daunting, even empty. You might find yourself asking, what do I do with myself all day? Boredom isn't just a trivial annoyance. Chronic boredom can lead to feelings of restlessness, dissatisfaction, and even depression. Furthermore, the loss of your professional role can feel like a loss of identity. You were the teacher, the engineer, the nurse, the builder, the accountant. Now, who are you? Finding a new answer to that question, a new sense of purpose that motivates you to get out of bed in the morning, is crucial. And it's not always easy. You have to actively seek it out, experiment, and maybe even fail a few times before you find something that resonates. It could be volunteering, pursuing a long-lost passion, learning a new skill, mentoring others, or dedicating yourself to a cause. But this new purpose doesn't just appear. You have to cultivate it. Compounding these psychological shifts are often financial realities. Even with careful planning, expenses can arise that you didn't foresee. Healthcare costs can escalate unexpectedly. The cost of living might increase more rapidly than your fixed income or savings. You might worry about outliving your money, or about being a burden to your children. These anxieties can overshadow the freedom that retirement was supposed to bring. The harshness is that retirement requires a significant mental and emotional adjustment beyond just managing your finances and calendar. It demands that you redefine yourself, create new structures for your time, and find meaning outside of traditional work. But again, recognizing this truth is the key to navigating it successfully. It means having honest conversations with yourself and your partner about your fears and expectations for retirement. It means actively exploring new interests and activities before you retire, if possible. To build a bridge to your next phase, it means being proactive about managing your finances and seeking advice if needed. Rather than letting anxieties fester, it means understanding that purpose can be found in many different forms: in creativity, in service to others, in learning, in connecting with loved ones. It's about shifting your mindset from retired from work to repurposed for life. The transition isn't just about stopping something, it's about starting anew. And that requires energy, intention, and a willingness to explore. The freedom of retirement comes with the responsibility of filling that freedom in a way that is meaningful and fulfilling to you. It's a challenge, yes, but also an opportunity for incredible personal growth and discovery, if you approach it with awareness and a proactive spirit. It's about building a new kind of rich life, one that isn't measured just in income, but in experiences, connections, and contributions. Let's turn our attention now to how you might be perceived by others, particularly younger generations. The fourth harsh truth is that younger people might unintentionally, or sometimes even intentionally, dismiss you, misunderstand you, or make assumptions based on your age. And navigating this requires patience, grace, and sometimes a rather thick skin. We live in a fast-paced world dominated by technology and rapidly changing cultural norms. Younger generations have grown up in a different era, with different experiences, different communication styles, and different priorities. While many young people are respectful and eager to learn from their elders, there's also a pervasive undercurrent of ageism in society. This can manifest in subtle ways, like being talked down to, being ignored in conversations, or having your opinions dismissed because you're seen as out of touch. It can be frustrating when your lifetime of experience and wisdom isn't valued or even acknowledged. You might find yourself feeling invisible or irrelevant in certain situations, simply because of your age. This isn't always malicious. Sometimes it stems from a lack of understanding, a generational gap in perspective, or the fast-paced nature of modern life that leaves little room for slowing down and truly listening. Technology is a prime example. If you're not comfortable with the latest apps or gadgets, you might be labeled as technologically illiterate or resistant to change, when in reality, you simply have different priorities or didn't grow up with these tools. Conversations can become challenging when references, cultural touchstones, or even basic assumptions differ so widely. It can feel like speaking different languages sometimes. The harshness is in feeling marginalized, like your voice and your experiences don't matter as much as they used to. It can lead to feelings of frustration, isolation, and even resentment. You might find yourself withdrawing from interactions where you feel misunderstood or undervalued. However, understanding this truth is key to navigating these interactions more effectively. It doesn't mean you have to adopt every new trend or become fluent in social media slang. It means approaching these interactions with awareness and perhaps a dose of empathy for the pressures and perspectives of younger generations. It means choosing your battles and deciding when it's worth trying to bridge the gap and when it's okay to just let it go. It means finding spaces and communities where your experience is valued and where you feel seen and heard. Which brings us back to the importance of those social connections we discussed earlier. It also means being willing to listen and learn from younger people. They have valuable insights into the modern world, just as you have insights into the past. Building bridges goes both ways. Sometimes, it requires calmly and respectfully asserting yourself and your experience. It's okay to say, "Actually, in my experience," or "I see things a bit differently because," without being defensive. It's about finding a balance between sharing your wisdom and being open to new ideas. The harsh reality of potential dismissal or misunderstanding is real, but the empowering truth is that you control your response. You can choose to engage with patience, to educate gently, to find your valued communities, and to not let others' potential biases diminish your sense of self-worth. Your value isn't tied to how well you understand TikTok or the latest slang. It's in the richness of your life experience, your resilience, and the person you are. It's about finding ways to connect that transcend generational differences, focusing on shared human experiences and values, while also accepting that not every interaction will be perfectly harmonious. It's about being confident in who you are, regardless of external perceptions. This brings us to our fifth and perhaps most profound harsh truth. You will confront your own mortality and the mortality of loved ones more frequently and intensely than ever before. This isn't a topic anyone enjoys discussing, and it's often avoided in casual conversation. But as you get older, reminders of life's finitude become more frequent and harder to ignore. Funerals of friends, family members, and contemporaries become more common occurrences. Health scares, either your own or those of people around you, highlight the fragility of life. You might start having conversations about end-of-life planning, wills, and healthcare directives, practical necessities that nonetheless force you to think about a future without you in it. Even simple things, like seeing headlines about people younger than you passing away, or noticing your own body's vulnerabilities, serve as poignant reminders. The harshness here lies in the discomfort and fear that can accompany these thoughts. It's the realization that your time is not infinite, that there are fewer years ahead than behind you. It's the grief of losing people you love, a grief that doesn't necessarily lessen with age, but perhaps deepens as your circle of long-standing connections shrinks. It's the potential fear of dying, or of leaving loved ones behind, or of the unknown. These are natural and valid fears, but they are also heavy ones that can weigh on your mind. Society often doesn't provide a lot of space for openly discussing these feelings. Death is still largely a taboo subject, leaving many people to grapple with these profound thoughts and emotions in solitude. This lack of open dialogue is part of what makes this truth so harsh. It can feel isolating to face it alone. However, this seemingly bleak truth also holds a powerful potential for transformation and living more fully. Confronting your mortality isn't about dwelling on death. It's about gaining a deeper appreciation for life. When you truly understand that your time is limited, it can clarify what truly matters. It can motivate you to spend your time and energy on things that bring you joy, connect you with loved ones, and contribute meaningfully to the world around you. It can free you from worrying about trivialities and petty annoyances. It can encourage you to mend strained relationships, express your love and appreciation more freely, and pursue experiences you've always dreamed of. It can make you more present in each moment, savoring the simple pleasures that life offers. Talking about end-of-life wishes, while difficult, can bring peace of mind and be a gift to your loved ones. Removing uncertainty and potential burdens from them during a difficult time, it's an act of love and responsibility. Facing the grief of loss, while painful, is also a testament to the depth of the love you shared. Allowing yourself to grieve fully and seeking support from others is essential for healing. The harsh truth is that death is an unavoidable part of life, and as you age, it becomes a more prominent reality. But the surprising and empowering truth is that acknowledging this can profoundly enrich the time you have left. It can lead to a life lived with greater intention, deeper connections, and a profound sense of gratitude for the gift of existence. It can shift your focus from the years you have lost to the richness of the years you have lived and the preciousness of the moments still to come. So, we've talked about some challenging things today, haven't we? We've touched on how our social circles naturally contract, requiring active effort to maintain connections and build new ones. We've acknowledged how our physical bodies change in ways we can't always control, necessitating adaptation and self-compassion. We've explored how retirement isn't just freedom but can bring unexpected challenges of boredom, purpose, and finance, demanding reinvention. We've discussed the potential for younger generations to misunderstand or dismiss you, requiring patience and a strong sense of self-worth. And finally, we've looked at the profound reality of confronting your own mortality and the mortality of loved ones. A truth that is difficult, but can ultimately lead to a more intentional and grateful life. These are indeed harsh truths, things that aren't always easy to hear or to live through. But remember, understanding these realities isn't about feeling discouraged or helpless. It's the exact opposite. It's about being armed with awareness, about having a clearer picture of the terrain ahead, so you can navigate it with greater strength, resilience, and even joy. Every stage of life has its unique challenges, and older age is no different. The wisdom you've gained throughout your life is your superpower now. Your ability to adapt, to learn, to persevere through difficulties. You've honed these skills over decades. They are your tools for facing these harsh truths head-on and finding ways to thrive despite them. You are not alone in experiencing these things. They are part of the shared human experience of aging. Talking about them, as we have done today, is the first step in demystifying them and reducing their power over you. Sharing your experiences with others who understand can provide immense comfort and support. And that brings us back to that crucial point about connection. Doesn't it? Seeking out others who are navigating similar paths, sharing your struggles and your triumphs, is incredibly important. So, what can you do with this awareness? You can start small. If social connection feels challenging, maybe commit to one phone call or one outing this week. If your body is giving you trouble, explore gentle exercises or talk to your doctor about ways to manage discomfort. If retirement feels aimless, try one new activity that sparks your curiosity. If you feel misunderstood by younger people, Look for opportunities to connect on shared interests rather than differences. And if thoughts of mortality are heavy, find someone you trust to talk to, or focus on gratitude for today. Remember, aging is a continuous process of change, and it requires continuous adaptation. Be kind to yourself through this process. Celebrate your resilience. Acknowledge the difficulties, but don't let them define you. Your story is still being written, and you have the power to influence the chapters ahead. Your later years can be a time of profound growth, new adventures, and deep satisfaction, precisely because you are navigating them with eyes wide open, acknowledging the shadows while stepping into the light. We've covered a lot of ground today, touching on things that can be difficult to face. I hope this conversation has been helpful, maybe even a little bit freeing. It takes courage to look at the less comfortable aspects of life, and I commend you for doing that today. What resonated most with you from these 5 points? Have you experienced any of these truths yourself, perhaps in a way that surprised you? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could be incredibly valuable and comforting to others in this community. And if you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us know that this kind of honest conversation is valuable to you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We share videos here every week designed to empower you to live your best life at every age. With practical tips, honest discussions, and uplifting messages. Joining our community means you won't miss out on future content that can support you on your journey. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, aging is not a decline. It's a transformation. It's complex. It's challenging. But it is also filled with immense potential for wisdom, connection, and joy. Keep living. Keep learning. Keep connecting. And keep embracing the journey, knowing that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way. Live your best life at every age.